South China Morning Post, 10th of March 2023, Chinese ships in the South China Sea tell Philippine aircraft overflying the Spratly Islands to leave immediately. Even the sea is not safe from a hegemonic China, which currently unlawfully occupies islands owned by the Philippines and has been stealing land and occupying it from all her neighbors. The Spratly Islands are located in the bitterly contested South China Sea. As a Philippine Coast Guard aircraft carrying journalists flew over them, a Chinese voice on the radio sternly ordered them to leave immediately. The command was given by a radio operator on a Chinese Coast Guard ship prowling the seas 3,500 feet, 1,066 meters, below. The Philippines, China, and other countries have competing claims to dozens of tiny islands and reefs. AFP was one of several media outlets that granted the unique chance to fly over some of these locations on Thursday. Beijing ignores a decision from an international court that says its claims lack legal support and asserts sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea, including the Spratly Islands. Over the past 10 years, the archipelago's reef has been destroyed to make way for militarized islets with runways, ports, and radar systems. Numerous Chinese Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels monitor the seas, swarming reefs and harassing and attacking fishing and other boats to bolster their claims. Additionally, they try to ban non-Chinese aircraft from the area above. You constituted a security danger by entering their water near a Chinese reef. One of 7 messages the Chinese radio operator sent out in Chinese and English as the Coast Guard aircraft flew over a Philippine-occupied island and shoal was, "Leave immediately to prevent misunderstanding." They were going over Philippine airspace, the Filipino pilot retorted. During the 4-hour Cessna Caravan flight, Philippine Coast Guard troops discovered nearly 20 Chinese vessels, including possible maritime militia boats, in the waters near some of the 9 islands and reefs that Manila occupies. The Philippine Coast Guard also saw 17 Chinese maritime militia vessels close to the Manila-claimed Sabina Shoal. The most oversized Philippine-occupied island, Thitu, was surrounded by 15 Chinese maritime militia boats. Thitu is about 430 kilometers, 267 miles, from the largest Philippine island, Palawan. According to estimates from the Philippine Coast Guard, a Chinese military ship was 15 kilometers from the island, and a Coast Guard vessel was half that distance away. A Chinese Coast Guard vessel was about 11 kilometers from Second Thomas Shoal, where Philippine Marines were stationed in an abandoned naval ship grounded to enforce Manila's claim to the surrounding waters. A Chinese Coast Guard vessel is accused of using a military-grade laser light against a Philippine surveillance boat last month while it was almost 20 kilometers from the shoal. That was the most recent significant maritime dispute involving China and the Philippines. In response, Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. took the unusual action of confronting the Chinese envoy in Manila, igniting a new diplomatic row. In contrast to his predecessor Rodrigo Duterte, who was reluctant to criticize Beijing, Marcos has maintained he will not allow China to infringe on the Philippines' maritime rights. According to Commodore J. Terriella, the Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, the Philippines' new plan was to denounce China's bullying behavior and aggressive actions at a forum in the capital Manila on Wednesday. The West Philippine Sea is what Manila alludes to as being to its immediate west. The Coast Guard frequently releases details about Chinese ships in the seas near Philippine-occupied features, including pictures and videos. According to Terriella, this enlightens Filipinos and allows other nations to condemn China for its actions. Beijing is compelled to come out in the open to explain or to lie as a result. It concerns its nefarious actions around the globe.